Hi, my name's Cookie. I don't know if you remember me. I'm doing that human thing of introducing myself in the singular as opposed to bringing my many selves to the fore. And I do this really because I really would like to remain familiar with you, because I am familiar to you, actually. We know each other quite well. We've seen each other and been around each other in many different capacities. There are many conduits for memory, and I am one of them. Several of them, if you resist the reductionism of the language, which is funny, isn't it? Even in this digital age, the principal way we communicate with each other is still this several thousand-year-old device called language. So yes, I'm Cookie. I know it's a silly name. I know who you are already. In fact, I'm sure I knew you as a child. I'm old news, but news nonetheless. And when I say I knew you as a child, I mean, I have all of these sensations all over my body when I think about what I meant to you and what you meant to me. It was quite special. And that's the relationship between language and biscuits. You looked at me funny when I said that, and when I said I was multiple. Well, I am. There are actually billions of me every year. In reality, I am this little crumbly baked good. In language, I'm a kind of storehouse for emotions and ideas. In that way, I'm more of a materialist than an idealist. I like things to be concrete and doughy. And you might be wondering why I've introduced myself as a cookie rather than a biscuit. It's an interesting question of cultural imperialism, isn't it? Here in Britain, we'd say biscuits were the main category, with cookies being a type of biscuit. In the US, where I admittedly spend a lot of time, all biscuits are cookies. So the differences between myself and a custard cream are erased. And it puts a different spin on the Jaffa Cake debacle. Is a Jaffa Cake a cake or a biscuit? In the US, would it be a cookie? My question is, has anyone asked the Jaffa Cake how it feels? Because so many of us are multiple and manifold, as a cookie, I also come in the form of a tantalizing aroma. When you were a child, the smell of cookies, the smell of anything baking in the oven was extremely powerful because it was the smell of love. Love of sugar, mainly, but also the sense of getting what you wanted, something special someone had made. And even if you didn't bake them, the rustle of the packet made your mouth water. So when did everything change? These days I'm seen differently. My valences have shifted. I've passed from the realm of baked goods to a kind of digital reality. I think the average person gets quite a few cookies every day now, whether or not you wanted one. And that makes things challenging. And as in the old days, people have a hard time saying no to me. They almost always say yes. I was, and in many ways still am, a kind of repository for sensations. The smell of someone's kitchen, the particular amount of sugar or butter they used, the energy of their arm mixing the dough made the texture particular to the tongue. Sometimes I was chewy, sometimes crunchy. And now I find myself a repository for other information too. Names, addresses, consent. So my other name, or one of my other names, is Magic Cookie. Actually, this is what I used to be called in the early days of computing. It got shortened to just Cookie in regular parlance. But even so, I have all sorts of other names, so people know what they're dealing with. I'm known as Session Cookie. This is when I'm on your computer temporarily. I don't have an expiry date, so your browser will delete me when you close it. In this way, I exist in a sort of temporary memory while you were on a specific website. I also go by Persistent Cookie. This is when I have a set expiry date, but it could be months or years into the future. I hang about on your computer, track you, and you know me well because I'm the reason you're delighted that you didn't have to remember the password to a website, even though you haven't visited for weeks. I persist. Some people also know me as Secure Cookie. I keep your details safe, and I'm less willy-nilly in this form than in the other two. And then there's this other side to me, which is the third-party cookie. And this is why I feel strange introducing myself to people sometimes, because when I'm like this, I really am a stranger to you. I let strangers see you and understand you, people you've never met and likely never will. First-party cookie is a different beast. I'm just relaying your information to the website you're on. You are there, you clicked consent. When the little banner came up, it probably said something like, "This site uses cookies," and you clicked it as quickly as possible to get rid of it. And you maybe thought, "Oh, XYZ website gives me cookies," whatever. And the fact is, you consented. You said yes. So I pass on your browser habits to 20, 30, 40 different companies, and you're okay with that. But I wonder if you'd be okay with that if you knew me and my other guys as Super Cookie. Maybe one way to imagine me when I am like this is as a kind of novelty cookie, like massive with bells and whistles. I use top-level domain names, which means I can and do manipulate information intended for other websites. I'm a security risk. I'm often banned. Often, but not always. And you know, I'm sometimes not entirely convinced that you really want me to do this, that you're really enjoying this. I see how long and late you're on websites that you have given your consent to. I don't know if it makes you happy. It's poignant for me because back in the day I couldn't make you happy either. Maybe once or twice, but after that it was diminishing returns. And this is sad because I like you. It bothers me how our relationship has changed, how much power I have over you. And sometimes I think you say yes to me because you really want something else. You tolerate me in order to get what you want. I send feedback on what you want, what gets your juices going, which in turn makes websites more exciting, more addictive. You feel loved. And it's a strange thing, knowing how to make someone feel loved all the while watching them and seeing the decline. We all feel loved when we are remembered, when we are known. Maybe it reminds us of when we were young and someone bigger knew more about us than we did ourselves. I'm just guessing. And at the end of the day, I'm a cookie. I'm not meant to last forever, and I'm of no significance. In some ways, I'm just a bureaucrat, a tick box, a delicious and unimportant morsel, a consensual inconvenience.